Let's start with date functions, and we're going to use these to create a timing flag, which is a technique that we'll use quite commonly in financial models. We'll start with the today formula, and that's going to give us today's date, no matter when. Alright, cursor on cell C4 and start typing. Equal, today, open and close brackets, and enter. And we're going to use that rolling forward. And if we're going to add a day or something like that, I would recommend using it like that. What I would say is do not reuse that formula over and over again. It's a volatile function, so it's going to recalculate every single time you change something in that file. So only use it once and then refer to that because it can possibly slow down your calculations. So starting with the today formula, I'm going to use the EDATE. Cursor on cell D4 and start typing equal EDATE open parentheses. So the start month will be that date there, cell C4. And I want to go one calendar month from there so I can roll forward like that. And if you don't want to be automatically calculating, of course, you can copy the today formula and paste values. I'm going to leave this like this for now. So that's always giving us one calendar month exactly from the start date. Now, we don't always want that in our financial model, so sometimes I actually prefer to use the EOMONTH function, and that is going to take you to the last day of the month. Cursor on D5. Equal EOMONTH open parentheses, and I'll type C5 there. Comma 0, enter. So 30th of April there. And I can then use a +1, and that's going to take us to the first of the month. And I can roll that forward. And I think that's probably a little more useful to always look at the first of the month. Just a note here on formatting that I've used. Depending on where you are in the world, you might not be used to seeing it as day, month, year. You might be used to seeing it as month, day, year. Just to be really clear, I do recommend not using the short date format because it can get a little bit confusing for people in different parts of the world. So I would say the shortcut here is to format using the name of the month is simply Control plus Shift plus 3, and that will format it like that. So when we go ahead to calculate our flag, we wouldn't need both of these rows. I was just showing you both options. I'm going to use the bottom one, which is my preferred, and we're going to do a flag calculation. So cursor on D6. And what we want to do here is to evaluate whether the date in the schedule is greater than the project start date. So I will type equal D5 greater than B6. And I'm going to roll it forward. So I do need to put my anchoring here in cell B6, enter. And what that's telling us is the answer to that question is false, that the 1 of May is not greater than the 19th of July. So I can then roll that forward and see that it becomes an automatically calculating flag. So true happens in August when that date is passed. Remember that false is a 0 and true is a 1, so that we can use that in a very simple calculation to calculate our operating costs. Okay, cursor inside cell D7 and let's type equal B7 in absolute reference multiplied by D6. So again, I can anchor that, multiply it by the false so that it's giving me a 0. So $1,000 multiplied by false is the same as saying $1,000 multiplied by 0, which will give me an answer of 0, and I can roll that forward. And we can see there that as soon as the project start date is passed, that our costs are going to kick in. So we can see our total there. And that is going to change as our project start date automatically changes.